From season 4, episode 9 is in the books, and the finale is officially on the horizon. This episode gave us a heavy dose of confirmations, rituals, identity clues, transformation rules, old theories coming back around, and a few things that connect directly to stuff we've been talking about on this channel since season 2. Welcome to Real Enigmas and Theories. Tap that like and hype on your way in, and let's get into this From season 4, episode 9 breakdown. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the boy in white and how he keeps saying that they're running out of time. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with him aging. Back in season 3, they had 2 different actors play the boy in white, and one seemed like the younger version, and then we had the other version that had clearly aged, which was the original character or the original actor, and we could see that he clearly aged when he told Victor not to cut that tree down. So when he keeps saying that they're running out of time, I don't think it's about the people in town. I think it could be about the cycle itself, him aging, or him becoming less able to interfere, and that may be why he's suddenly sounding so urgent. Maybe his aging is connected to Victor's cycle, because besides him being the same actor that's playing him, the writers seem to have been leaning into this fact that the actor is getting older. And to be honest with you, it does seem like this was the plan all along, with that picture of the older looking boy in white in the title credits. You know, the one that has the crow on his mouth. And we also, it was revealed to us that in season 3, it was a painting of Miranda's. So that tells us that it's definitely worth paying attention to. Now, Sophia confirmed a couple major things in this episode, and one of them is that this is a place of ritual. I've been pointing out rituals all over this show. You had the blindfolded ritual when Fatima gave Julie the space in her and Ellis's room. Jim also covered his eyes when he was walking into the vestibule with Tabitha at the clinic, and he stood right on the checkered pattern on the floor and crossed his legs. Jim also had the Hiram Abiff libation ritual with his family before Jade walked in, and they had they both touched each other on the chest part. You had Elgen's unholy Eucharist with Fatima drinking that blood. You got Sophia with her incantations, the egg, and, reanimating corpses, and she used the ritual to do that. She also used some sort of ritual where she's gathering teeth. I mean, you had the choosing ceremony, Martin and Boyd's blood brother ritual, Smiles Davis and Boyd's blood brother ritual, and now we got the blood brother ritual with Clara and Sophia. I mean, the children, the slabs, the talismans, the whole damn town is a ritual. Or at least it runs on rituals, and it runs on repetition, sacrifice, deals, symbols, offerings, memory. These are the type of things that this town seems to be running off of. And speaking of Sophia, this episode gave us some very important rules about her. When the man in yellow changes, it looks like the transformation actually is painful. And that indicates that Sophia can take damage. I mean, she has the broken forearm, the knife drew blood from her hand, the glass drew blood from her when she was putting the blood in Henry's drink. So this entity is definitely powerful, but I think when it's in the human form, it's not very untouchable. You can actually hurt this thing, or at least slow it down, maybe. I wonder if we'll see some fighting with Sophia or something like that. It would be kind of crazy. There was another detail as well. She had to call for Sarah in the house when she was checking to see if her and Clara were alone. That tells me that Sophia cannot see into every space in the town at all times, and that changes how we should look at a lot of the stuff that we saw earlier too. The reason the man in yellow knew Tabitha was digging that hole in the basement may not be because it was able to watch everything like an all-seeing God. It's probably because these events have happened before, and the cycle repeats, and he or she knows the pattern. That would also explain how fake Thomas on the phone knew that the ambulance was coming back with Tabitha. And it also explains why the monsters knows everybody's names. They know it because they're not watching it like cameras or some sort of telepathic vision. It's more like these things have happened over and over again. And just from them playing out over and over again, they remember things. And if that's the case, then the entities inside this place are working at a script that's already been performed many times over, with slight alterations and things happening differently, of course. Now let's talk about Sophia for a second. The broken forearm immediately makes me think of the solve et coagula on the arms of the Baphomet. Dissolve and coagulate. And those two words could be, they actually have meaning when it comes to water and blood. And we saw Fatima break the glass of water in the clinic when they was checking for her pregnancy, when they didn't see her being pregnant. And she also broke the jar of blood that Elgen was trying to give her after she drank some of it, of course, but she broke that up against the wall as well. But dissolve, coagulate also means to break apart and put back together. Destroy the old form and remake it into something else. And that's exactly what Sophia has been doing. She's been breaking people down. You have Henry, Clara, Elgen, Fatima, and she manipulates and dissolves the identity of these people. She puts fear, grief, and guilt into them. Like we see a lot of guilt going on with Henry. We see a lot of fear going on with Fatima. She doesn't know what she's going to do, to the point to where she's up there making a mud demon or a mud golem to protect her and to feel stronger in this place. And we even seen what happened to Roger, how he was killed and then turned into a rag doll. And that also, represents the rebuilding part. His mouth was sewn back together, his eyes, the buttons were placed on his eyes, and she even reanimates him. So, she turns him into an instrument, and she manipulates the people by dissolving and coagulating them, pretty much breaking them down and putting them back together for a different purpose. And no matter how you look at that, that is definitely alchemy and ritual transformation. And Sophia actually tells Elgen that she can only transform into people who have died in this place. And that's a huge confirmation. That means that the man in yellow was not just some random demon form that she chose to put on, or it chose to put on. He probably was actually someone who came to this town, lived there, died there, and now Sophia or this entity can wear his body. I'm going to keep it a beanbag though. I still want a name for this guy. I want to know what cycle he came from. And I want to know who he was before he became Old Yeller McNasty, the Nightmare Lounge singer. I mean, I think the song that he was humming when he left Tabitha by the RV may have been Satin Doll by Duke Ellington. That yellow suit definitely fits that time period perfectly. It gives that old jazz club murder in the walls kind of vibe, And the show made it a point to show the man in yellow having those red and blue veins on the abdomen like Fatima. So maybe Fatima is going through that same type of transformation. And I just want to point out that Fatima was going through that transformation before she got the man in yellow's blood in her. But maybe that was just to speed it up, or to speed up what was going on with her. Maybe if there's another cycle, whatever transformation that Fatima's going through, she becomes the next Sophia type figure, or a vessel that this place can wear later. And moving right along, I definitely got to talk about Donna. I definitely think that she knows more than what she's saying, especially now that she's been dead and came back. I wonder what she saw, what she knows, because she seems to be pretty tight-lipped about things all the time. I mean, the food shortage, the voice on the radio, the monster, she's the one that told him to burn the body. She never really wants to disclose things that she knows or information that she finds out. I don't know why. I think it might be because she's trying to protect people, because she may know that shit messes up when you learn things, or I don't know, but Donna definitely knows something. This episode had Boyd cut her off mid-sentence, and then she snapped right back with a sharp "I know." And that felt intentional from a writer's standpoint to me. It just felt like a little flash of something under the surface. I don't think Donna's necessarily evil, but her story to me doesn't check out. The picture with her sister, like all that going on. She's got an 8x10 picture that she took with her on a hunting trip. It just doesn't sound right. We still haven't seen a monster just snatch somebody's face right off like she described with her sister. So there are some holes, and then she's just shown us that she is prone to not sharing valuable information about what's going on in this place. Maybe she has remembered more since she was dead and came back. Maybe she had an encounter like Clara's when she first got there and forgot about it or didn't think it was real. And she's probably made peace with the things that she hasn't told to others yet. Now we got Henry up at Colony House, and he questioned the carousel horse. And that got my attention because horses have been showing up all over this series. I've been pointing this out before. I mean, this season here, we had the Canadian Mountie. We had Ethan's pajamas back in season 1 had horses on them. Tilly said she was going to bet on ponies. You had Megan with the Wonder Riding pony in her room. You got Boyd's If I Had a Boat song, and that mentions a horse on the boat. He also said wild horses wouldn't stop him from the occasion when he went to Fatima and Ellis's wedding. So even back in season 1, when I saw that horse at Colony House, I didn't think that some random traveler brought that with the items like their clothes or something like that. You know, even the furniture. If you're going to ask, how did this horse get to this place? Then you also got to be asking, like, well, how did the furniture get in this place? Or how did anything get in this place? How did these houses, how did this place get in this place? But as far as that carousel pony, I think it actually came from a carousel that used to exist in Frumlin or may still exist in a different part of Frumlin. We did learn that there are different parts of Frumlin that we don't know about, especially the whole settlement that had cabbages and everything and cabins and whatnot. So there are different places in Frumlin. We just haven't seen them all. Remember, one of Eloise's drawings shows what looks like a Ferris wheel. So maybe at some point there was a circus, a carnival, and some kind of fairground connected to this place. I mean, let's not act like that wouldn't fit the show perfectly. I mean, a carnival is already symbolic. You got the lights, masks, games and rides, animals, illusions all over the place. It just fits this place. And now we find out that Clara made a deal with the entity when she first arrived, but she didn't even think it was real. And she had not been given any instructions on what to do up until Sophia came back and reminded her about the deal. So everything that Clara did before this was not her being a mole. And I'm going to keep it a beanbag. I think it was complete fan service because of so many fan theories had Clara popping up in random places looking suspicious in the background. So I think that the writers just said, yo, all right, let's give them something. But now that makes me want to know what Clara's original encounter looked like. Sophia revealed the black eyes to remind Clara of the pack. And we've not seen anybody on the show with black eyes like that. So what did Clara see when she first arrived? Who approached her? And how many other people in the town have made deals that they fully don't understand? Maybe Donna. I don't know. One thing I was definitely correct about is Sophia being someone from a previous cycle. And now it looks like the man in yellow is probably the same thing. And now I kind of understand what she meant when she told Pastor Dunn that he would play an important role in the story. I wondered that when she said it, because if he's dead, how important could his role be? But if the priest is always killed in this place, then that means that the entity can wear the image. And that's why something is able to wear Father Catri's image. And I kind of thought it was the boy in white wearing Father Catri's image, but Father Catri's telling Boyd to go get the bones and do what it takes by any means, and actually telling him how to do it the wrong way. And we know that that's just not a figment of Boyd's imagination, because when Boyd asked Father Catri, do you remember what Donna said to me on that first night? He didn't know. So it's not Boyd. And this Father Catri is trying to encourage Boyd to go get the bones, but he's trying to encourage him to do it in the wrong way by sacrificing people that don't even need to be there. So I do think Tabitha is breaking word to Boyd when she says that it should only be Jade and her. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. Now, the Polaroids that have revealed Christopher, young Victor, and Sophia were all found in the diner storage. And I think those pictures are most likely from the enchanted camera that Julie found in the basement. And one real quick thing before I forget, I just want to say that I've been seeing people say that the dress that Sophia was wearing in the Polaroid is the same dress that Miss Lou had on and they put on her body for the funeral. That is not the same dress. Yes, they do look similar and they do have blue flowers on them. But I mean, you can look at the neckline and tell like that's definitely not the same dress, not even close. But as I was saying, the pictures revealed what Christopher and Victor in that first Polaroid that Jade found in the book. And so the Polaroid with Sophia, all three of those Polaroids came from inside of the diner storage. And all of this connects back to Elgen in the craziest way. We're going to get to it. I mean, we know that he's the one that found the picture of Sophia, but peep this. Donna gave Fatima a dream catcher with a black feather that had a white spot on it. And then Elgen comes into town wearing a shirt with a crow that had a white spot on it. Elgen is the one who had the dream about the boy in white singing the nursery rhyme. For some reason, Fatima's pregnancy reminded him of this dream. I don't know what Fatima's pregnancy had to do with reminding him of the boy in white singing that nursery rhyme. I've been stuck on that for the longest. But Elgen is the one who tells Julie about Boyd killing the monster when they were standing out there by the pool and Julie was wearing the hearts on her sweater. Then Elgen, white spot, crow shirt and all, has another dream of a kimono demon, and that dream leads him to take Fatima hostage so that Smiles Davis could be reborn. Now remember, the connection there is the white feather, well, the black feather with the white spot on it on her dream catcher and his shirt. Now Elgen circles all the way back around to end up being the person that finds the picture in the diner. I mean, that's crazy. Think about that. And look, y'all, I just got to keep it a beanbag. His ass shouldn't have been out there trying to smash Clara in the first place. Talking about we about to build a rope ladder. You want to help us tonight. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Put the eye patch on. Go sit your ass down somewhere. Haven't you done enough? I mean, first you drag Fatima by her Ugg boots, and now your stupid ass done found a picture of Sophia and took it right to her instead of cuffing that shit and going to tell somebody. I mean, you would think Elgen wouldn't even want to see a picture of a Polaroid at all for a while. And Sophia telling Clara to lock the doors had the same energy as Marvin Sapp asking his congregation for that $40,000.
I said, close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors.
The crazy part was Marvin Sapp said, y'all ain't going nowhere but to the restaurant, and they standing right there in the diner. Yo, this shit had me rolling.
We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
Lock the doors. Don't let nobody out. But right before that, though, we got to get into the reaction when Clara revealed that Jade and Tabitha would be the only two going to get the bones. Why was she so shook? Is she worried that they're going to get killed? I mean, last episode, Old Yeller told Tabitha that there was something else that she needed to do and he didn't want to kill her yet. So is Sophia worried that Jade and Tabitha are in danger? Or is she shook because Jade and Tabitha are exactly the people who are supposed to go down there and get those bones and perform the ritual in the correct way? I mean, maybe the proper ritual requires them. Maybe Tabitha's right about the markings on the talisman. Maybe the show is setting up the idea that Jade and Tabitha are not the only remembering the past. They are being pulled right back into their original roles. Maybe we might see the different forms of magic that are used in this place to combat the monsters. You had the totems, the voodoo totems. They literally referred to them as voodoo totems. I refer to them as Inkisi dolls, but them shits actually did kill the Cabbage Patch monsters. And the talismans do keep these monsters out of the houses. And one thing about it, Jade's shamanic journey was very blatant. That vision of the monsters putting him to the hole was not subtle at all. They put his ass right up in that hole. And this is showing Jade that the truth is buried behind something. I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Let's talk about Henry and Victor for a minute, though. Now, the visions that Sophia is giving Henry clearly marks Victor as the anchor that Henry must kill if he wants to go home to this mystery fake world that Eloise then hopped on a plane and still hasn't made it to yet. Now, in my last video, I said that Sophia is at least responsible for some of the voices that Sarah heard. But most important part was the message that appeared on her arm telling her to kill the boy. That wasn't a voice, and I think that Sarah may have misunderstood it. She thought that it meant Ethan, but I think it was really talking about Victor. I know for sure that Sophia is telling Henry to get rid of Victor, and we also know for sure that Sophia can communicate with Sarah. So maybe she is who told Sarah to kill the boy, really meaning Victor. I guess because if you're as old Yeller is, any grown-ass man would be a boy to you still, right? But Sophia needed Victor gone. And the biggest question is, why can't Sophia just do it herself? Why does she need Sarah? Why does she need Henry? Why does she need somebody else to kill Victor? You know what I'm saying? That's the part that kind of makes me think that Victor is protected by some kind of rule or something. And I hope that Henry doesn't get his hands on Victor's gun. Pause. But you know the gun that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one that Ethan was eyeing last season when Victor was about to shoot Randall. The same gun that he used to scare the dogs away from Jim and Tabitha that day. And speaking of the dogs, where are the dogs? I mean, we started off with what? We started off with the monsters, then we got the boy in white, and then we got the dogs. And all of that was in first season. Oh, we had the crows as well. And we're going to talk about that real quick. I just want to pull back the part of the bigger game. And I think that there are multiple entities in this place. And I think that they're maybe playing against each other in some sort of game or some sort of high stakes game. Now, Fatima putting together a puzzle of crows reminds me of the crows that gave us our first real clue that there are opposing sides of power. And that was the scene where the crows were being eaten in the tunnels. And they showed us this right there with Tabitha and Victor in the tunnels. And those crows being eaten in the tunnels by a rat shows us that they're not just some creepy welcoming committee. I think the crows might actually be the people who have died in this place. And I think that Jim was extremely important as a character, and he may have had some ancestral ties to this place that pretty much made him a target. And Jim was literally the Crow Man, Jim Crow. He's the only character we've seen imitate crows multiple times on this show. So when that crow lands directly on Jim's grave and the camera pans and gives us a shot of that same crow at the feet of the remaining Matthews family, I definitely think they were trying to tell us something. And that Jim that we saw hugging Ethan may be trapped differently than the other souls in this place. He could be the kitchen ghost that everybody seems to be forgot about too. Or that could have been Story Walking Julie. I don't know. Either way, Jim is not done. I don't believe it for 1 second. Now, Tabitha's porch vision was wild, and seeing all the Ankui children get back together again felt like the end of the Jackson 5 movie for a second. But I don't think they were pointing directly at Tabitha. To me, it kind of felt like they were pointing in the sky. And I did see the trailer for episode 10, the finale, and from what that looks like right there, I think that might be true. Now, this is the esoteric portion of the video. And on this channel, I always point out the symbolism. And one thing that I talked about back in season 2 was the ropes and strings showing up everywhere on this series. My homie Taryn Matheru and I did multiple live streams last season, and he talked about the witch's ladder being a part of his theory. And I think that thread of symbolism showed up again in this episode with the rope ladder. And we also had something of a witch's ladder in last season when Jade was in the bar tying all the ropes and fabrics together. But before that, in season 2, when he first went into the tunnels, he took a string with him to find his way back. And that immediately mirrors the Theseus and the labyrinth story. In Greek mythos, Theseus uses Ariadne's thread to navigate the maze, find the Minotaur, and find his way back out. And the Minotaur connection gets even stronger when we remember Miranda painted a one-eyed creature that looked like it was about to eat the children. And in that myth, young people were sent into the labyrinth as a tribute to be devoured by the Minotaur beast. And in From, we have 7 children sacrificed, and their suffering seems to be tied to the root of the town's curse. Now, these details are not identical, but it's definitely familiar in structure. You got the hidden maze, the monsters inside, children offered to something ancient, and then you got a character using a thread to get out of a labyrinth. That's starting to look like when you put Miranda's paintings together, you're really getting like pieces of a map. And that takes me right to one of my favorite threads, and that's Boyd as the torch holder. And we got to talk about this in the episode before the finale for sure, because Boyd is the one carrying fire at the end of every season so far, and I wonder if they're going to do it this season as well. Season 1, he had the lighter in the well. Season 2, he had the torch. Season 3, he had the lantern. So I wonder if the finale is going to continue this thread of symbolism. Will Boyd carry the fire again? Will he carry the flame, the torch, the lantern, or even something bigger? Will he cause a fire? What is going to happen? And all of this connects to his son being named Ellis, as in Ellis Island. The Statue of Liberty sits right there in that same symbolic zone. And now Sophia coming back to town is definitely adding another layer to that with her whole Baphomet symbolism. Note, in the transformation scene, once again, they showed us the as above, so below. They turned it upside down. And I've talked about this all season and even last season about Sophia and the connection to the Baphomet. And I know you're like, how'd you talk about Sophia last season? She wasn't even a character. No, I was talking about Hiram Abiff, King Solomon, and wisdom. And I brought up Sophia and how it's decoded from the word Baphomet. But I was making a reference to the goat, like Alma the goat. However, the Sophia thing was cooked into my video, you know? And then for them to actually come with a character named Sophia, I'm just as shocked as you are. I mean, you can go through my old videos and see that I've been talking about this stuff for years pretty much. And now it's showing up in the show in the way that it does, and all of the rhyme and reasoning that's been playing out in season 4. Yo, they definitely been watching the channel. I mean, in season 2, I joked about them adding me on the writers team, but yo, I'm sitting on YouTube just giving this shit away for free. Holler at me, y'all. Anyway, let's get back to the symbolism. I've been talking about the 9/11 connections and the number 47 on this channel since season 2 as well. Then in episode 407, they showed us the World Trade Center complex before and after 9/11, but they also showed us that Statue of Liberty. Now, let's just think for a second. What if the Statue of Liberty is not what you were taught in school? Some people believe that the Statue of Liberty is actually a depiction of Lucifer. And I'm not talking about Satan with the red devil horns, but Lucifer as the beautiful rebel, the light bearer, the fallen angel, the one who enlightens mankind against divine order. That's who I'm talking about. Check this out. This is why the torch actually stands out, because Lucifer means the light bearer or morning star. And the classical Lucifer pictures or images is often connected to a torch bearing figure. And if that's the case, then Lady Liberty holding the flame above the world becomes a public image of Lucifer and the bringing of forbidden information to civilization. Now you have this Sir Thomas Lawrence painting of Satan summoning his legions And there's a visual connection right here with the Statue of Liberty. It's undoubted. Like, look at this. I mean, he didn't paint, Satan as like a cartoon monster with red horns. He painted him as a heroic, almost godlike figure, which is the same symbolic notion that people link to Lady Liberty. And then the Gilliam Geef sculpture Le Genet du Mal gives even tighter visual connections that show a chained figure inside a winged frame. And a lot of people don't know that Lady Liberty stands there with broken chains at her feet. And if this is a Satan sculpture, then that implies that the chains are broken and Satan is free. As a matter of fact, in the book of Revelations, there's a time where Jesus let Satan roam free after the 1,000 years of peace. Could the 1,000 years of peace have already happened and the chains are broken off, and that's why we really got that statue? The sculpture also shows chains at the feet as well. I mean, then you have the 7-point crown that connects to the number 7 in the Polaroid picture, and the crown that you have in Geef's work as well. I mean, in Geef's work, you got the crown, the chains, and the torch right by the feet as well. Can't forget about the torch. Look at the torch laying right by the toes. And that brings us right back to From, because Boyd has been carrying the fire at the end of every season. The light bearer named after Jesus with the Mr. Fish and Loaves nickname. Lucifer, son of the morning, and Jesus, the light of the world. The whole Ellis connecting to Ellis Island, and that being the man's son. And what is the light of the world? The light of the world is the sun. And what? Son of the morning. And this show pretty much gave us the World Trade Center, the Statue of Liberty, the 47 symbolism, towers, portals, cycles, sacrifice, and a town that operates off of ritual. I know some of these non-believers out there think that this is a schizo channel. They'll call a name like that, but they'll never actually argue the information because they know they can't. And I think the finale is going to be about roles. Who is the anchor? Who is the torchbearer? Who is the sacrifice? Who is the guide? Who's the betrayer? Who's the one who remembers? And who really does this town need to die for the next cycle to begin? Because I mean, the Matthews really haven't even been there over 2 months already. So this cycle definitely has to be like a short thing that happens, like shortly after the Matthews get there, boom, everything starts going in motion, everything goes to shit, and then we got to do some sort of massacre. And I just got to keep it a beanbag, y'all. If we don't get like a major death this next episode, I don't know about this season. Like, we need a major death. You gave us one. You gave us 2 last season. You didn't give us any in season 2 at all. And in season 1, you killed all the wrong people. You killed Father Kotri, and the back and forth that him and Boyd had was unmatched. I don't even know why you killed him. And then you killed Trudy with talking about the alabaster dragon. I mean, why would you kill her? So this season, we're going to have some deaths on deaths on deaths for this season, because we only got 1 season left. And I thought this episode gave us a lot to chew on. However, I did not like the pacing. It seemed rushed, and the acting was kind of flat during the end, especially in the tunnel scenes. And the way that they ended it definitely felt off. I mean, this show typically shows us a day and a night, or a night and a day. But this episode, they showed us a day, a night, and a day. And it went and played really fast. It was kind of corny but don't get me wrong. I love the show, but I'm going to keep it a beanbag with you and tell you the truth. Other than that, the episode was a great installation to the series, and I definitely cannot wait for the finale. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Sophia was scared because Jade and Tabitha were walking into danger? Or do you think she was scared because they're actually onto something and they know who needs to perform this ritual? Another question, do you think Victor was the real boy that Sarah was supposed to kill? I mean, we see Sophia trying to tell, Henry to kill him. And we know that Sophia can communicate to Sarah. So is that who the intention was for when that markings came on her arm? Because it's not like it was a voice with instruction. And my next question is, do you think Boyd is going to carry the fire again in the finale? Because if he does, we might be looking at one of the biggest symbolic payoffs the entire series, to be honest with you. Drop your theories below. Go ahead and do all that dope YouTube stuff. And if you're not subbed yet, hopefully this will be the video that makes you do it. That's all for the video this evening. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.